All right, we'll kick things off as people continue to join. Welcome, everybody. My name is Julia Scully. I'm the Communications Director here at Capital Good Fund. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. We're very excited to talk through some of the updates we have for you. Just a few housekeeping items before we kick off. The session will be recorded, and a link to watch the recording will be circulated following the event, along with some other program resources. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat or live. This is meant to be interactive. Otherwise, we will have time for Q&A at the end of the meeting. And with that, I will pass things over to Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. Thank y'all so much for taking the time out. I know everyone's been working, so definitely want to make sure we're mindful of you all's time. But we do appreciate you all having this conversation with us. We want to make it fun, informative, and then, of course, feel free to ask any questions that you guys have, and we'll make sure that we answer those. Let's dive straight in. So just to kind of give y'all an agenda for today, we'll start with meeting the team. We've already gone over some housekeeping, and then we'll go into a quick recap of what Solar for All is, and then a little overview of each program. So we'll talk about the no-cost solar program, the residential solar savings plan, the community benefit solar plan, and then the utility-led solar plan. So right after that, we'll roll into up and coming opportunities, and then our Q&A. So I want to pass it over to Alicia Brown, who's the director of Georgia Bright, and she'll kick us off with the introductions.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time after a long workday to come out and learn a little bit more about the program. Great to see some familiar faces and some new ones as well. As Jasmine said, I'm the director of the Solar for All program here at Capital Good Fund, director of Georgia Bright. I'm going to kick it over to Gustavo.
Hey everyone, my name is Gustavo Arce, residential EPC manager here at Capital Good Fund. Very excited to be here, answer any questions towards the end, and hey to those familiar faces.
Hey everyone, my name's Gervais Baker. I'm our commercial EPC manager over here, working alongside Gustavo and Alicia. I'm happy to answer questions as we navigate through this, and just happy to be a part of this program.
Next slide. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Shelton. I serve as the Community Engagement Manager, representing the North Georgia as well as the Metro Atlanta area.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcia Gosier, and I am the Community Engagement Specialist for the Central and Southwest Georgia area. And I am headquartered out of Fort Valley, Georgia, Peach County. The reason why Georgia is the Peach State. And I am so excited about just sharing this opportunity with everyone this evening and the Georgia Bright Solar Fall program. And I'll pass this on to Jasmine.
All right. Hi, everyone. Again, to formally introduce myself, my name is Jasmine Smith. I'm in Savannah, Georgia, born and raised native, and I'm the community engagement specialist for the Southeastern and Coastal Georgia. So just diving straight in to what Solar for All is. So it's a $7 billion program under the EPA's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. So made 60 awards to states, territories, tribes, and multi-state coalitions across the country in April of 2024. So the purpose of this program is to bring the benefits of solar to low-income and disadvantaged communities. What is Georgia Bright? So just to give you guys a little bit of background of who and what we are. So Georgia Bright began as a pair of first of its kind pilot programs that proved that equitable solar was not only possible, but scalable and sustainable. So this Solar for All award was made to the Georgia Bright Communities Coalitions, which is led by Good Fund together with the cities of Atlanta, Savannah, and Decatur. So the program itself is Georgia Bright does equal Georgia solar for all. Our vision is for a world where any family, regardless of their housing type, home ownership, or income, can access money saving benefits of solar. So this is just another general outline of the different programs. So the first program we're going to kick into is the no cost solar program that Marsha's going to tell you guys a little bit more about.
Okay. And so the no cost solar program, I see that we have some participants that we've met out in the community, and you probably were prepared to hear about the prepaid solar. That is no more. That has been taken off of the table. And so no cost solar plan is what I am so excited to speak with you all about and share with you all. This launches in a few weeks. It will be available starting August 4th. What is the Georgia Bright No Cost Solar Plan? The No Cost Solar Plan is just like it sounds, an opportunity for families in Georgia to get solar panels for their homes with no cost ever. So you may ask, who is eligible for the Georgia Bright No Cost Solar Plan? If you live in Georgia and own your own home, if you earn no more than 80% of the area median income for your county or 200% of the federal poverty level adjusted for your household size. So in plain English, this is based on income and very moderate income. And if you are 80% AMI from your census data. You must also be current or nearly current on your mortgage and property taxes, have a roof or yard with good sunlight, about 300 to 500 square feet. How do you sign up? 900 systems will be allocated through 2 drawings, one in September of 2025 and one in the spring of 2026. You may sign up at georgiabright.org beginning August 4th. That's when the drawing will take place. What makes the no-cost solar plan different from other solar options available to Georgia residents? No cost ever, not from Georgia Bright. No upfront costs, no monthly costs, no maintenance costs, no credit score needed to qualify or be approved. It is fully a turnkey program with design and installation handled by trusted and monitored contractor network. And our EPC team will talk about that later and give you more depth if you have any questions for that. You don't have to buy the system under the no cost solar plan. You don't have to worry about debt or maintenance responsibilities. The no cost solar plan is just like it states. There's zero cost today and there will be zero cost forever. Do I pay for the solar system? Do I pay for the solar installation? Do I receive any bills from Georgia Bright for my no-cost solar plan? And do I pay for ongoing maintenance and repairs? No, absolutely not. Not happening. The only bill you will get is from your utility provider. If we could figure out a way to make that happen for you, we would. So far, we have not been able to accomplish that feat. So there will be no cost, no bills that you will ever get from Georgia Bright with the no cost solar plan. And so we'll go to the next slide on that. As you can see, I wish I had this behind me, then I could kind of do my hands like I was on a Wheel of Fortune. However, the no cost solar eligibility, it is based on the income. And as you can see, we're just going to use Fulton County as an example. Fulton County, of course, is Atlanta, Georgia. And so you will have areas in Fulton County that are deemed disadvantaged areas by the census tract. And so that is another way that you would qualify for the no cost solar eligibility. So you can see in Fulton County, if there's a household size of 1, then if we're going off the 80% AMI, then a single person in a home with no children, no other adults living in the home, just one person, the highest income they could make would be $63,950. As you can see, if we go down to a family of 3, then the highest income that could be made would be $82,250. If you were speaking to a family of 6, then if you're making six figures, you still can qualify. If you would top out at $106,000 if we were using a family of six in the Fulton County area. And of course, with a family of eight, then $120,000, $126,000. Let me go back to that. 126,000. I think we need to change that. Okay. Because yeah, you would not be able to make over 100. Yeah, we need to change how that is looking, because it's almost looking like 60. Okay. But you all get my drift. Okay. So you can be gainfully employed. Oftentimes we hear the word low income. And so we're thinking that that takes you out of the equation. When we talk about low income areas, what we're speaking to with this no cost solar program is people with low wealth, because you actually have an asset if you have a home. And so that's one of the requirements on this. And we wanted to make sure that homeowners were alleviated of utility burdens. And so, Jasmine, if we can go to the next screen. And so some of the additional benefits: power when you need it most, battery eligibility. Some no-cost solar plan participants can get a battery, with priority for those who rely on electric-powered medical equipment. Another benefit is the benefit of resilience. Resilience benefits: batteries keep essential devices running in the event of a power outage, like essential medical devices and refrigerators for food preservation. Follow us at Georgia Bright on socials for more solar facts and benefits.
Hey, Masha, thank you so much for that overview of the no cost solar plan. So I'm going to take you guys into the residential solar savings plan. So this means that there's guaranteed savings for Georgia residents. So what is the Georgia Bright Residential Solar Plan? So this plan is a pathway for homeowners and renters with the landlord's permission to get solar on their homes and save on their energy bills from day one. So one of the things I really like about this program is the fact that it is open to renters. They just need their landlord's permission. So I think that certainly allows for us to reach a large amount of folks. The goal is to cover Georgia in solar. So definitely would help make that happen with this program. So as far as eligibility goes, both owners and renters in the state of Georgia, again, like I said, the landlord would need to apply. You can qualify by income or your census tract. And then you do have to be current or nearly current on the mortgage, property taxes, and demonstrate ability to pay for a lease. You have to also have a roof or a yard with good sunlight. So similar guidance when it comes to the Bright residential plan as it or opposed to the no cost solar plan. So ways to sign up is you can begin signing up for that online at our Georgia Bright website. You can start doing that in September. So of course, as we get closer to that time, just be on the lookout for additional information and updates so that way you can make sure that you go ahead and apply. One thing that I do want to call out about this is that this, unlike the no cost solar program, that application will be open for a few weeks. So right now we're looking at the beginning of September. This will be, an ongoing application. So for as long as the funds are available, this is what we're going to be offering residents. So what makes the residential solar saving different from other solar options available to Georgia is the no upfront costs, no maintenance costs, and the low monthly payments that guarantee day one savings of 20%. So when it comes to this, we are very intentional. Our EPCs, they take their time, making sure that the homeowner understands the process, but most importantly, that we can guarantee a day one savings of 20%. So, and that is net of monthly payments. So that's one huge benefit. We certainly make sure we guide you through the process. Now, as far as the battery storage, you will be an option that'll come along with all systems. So great news there. And then there is no credit score needed to qualify or be approved. This is a fully turnkey program as well, with the design and installation handled by a trusted monitored contract network. So super beneficial program right there. And like I said, aside from us walking the homeowner through those steps, we have an idea of what should be saved. And if those savings aren't occurred, then the homeowner will be compensated to offset the difference of what they weren't able to save from switching to solar. All right, so now we'll tee it off to Tim to talk about our community benefit solar plan.
Appreciate it, Jasmine, and good afternoon to everyone again. So we've touched on the residential side, two different programs, which we're looking to serve not just the individuals who qualify under the 80% AMI, but also individuals who qualify under the disadvantaged census tract. But now I want to speak a little bit more about the commercial side, right? We don't want to leave out our houses of worship, our municipality buildings, our for-profits, right? You guys are also eligible. We have a program designed for you guys. And then that, as I like to say, you should allow your rooftop to be all it can be and let us put solar on top, right? So how does the community benefit solar plan work? It's very similar with a lot of the same advantages as our residential programs. And there's going to be a little bit of a couple key difference. This one being that part of the agreement is that you are going to share benefits directly with the community. And I understand for my nonprofits, for my houses of worships, these align directly with your normal run-of-the-mill business. But for my for-profits, you may be asking yourself, well, where is my advantage if I have to share a portion of my savings with the community? And I challenge you to challenge our EPC managers, who I've had the pleasure to speak with, who they will be able to explain how when these systems are built, even with the 20% share, you're still going to be receiving considerable savings on your electricity bills while also impacting the community that your organizations are around. So this is a great program. Don't let it scare you away with the benefit share. We welcome the conversation to talk more about this with our commercial customers. This will also serve in a big portion of our last plan, which I will pass over to our director, Miss Alicia Brown, to go into.
Thanks, Tim. So the last bucket of our community solar program, of our Solar for All program, is our community solar bucket, which I know a lot of folks on the call have had questions about, because this, of course, is one of our best ways to serve those households that might be more shaded, or the landlord might not be interested in signing on to a solar program with us. So in this model, we are working with Georgia's many 94 different utilities to build shared or community solar projects. And that can take one of two approaches. We, in our work plan, can either make a subaward to a utility for them to build, operate, subscribe households to a community solar project, or we are able to develop a project, enter into a power purchase agreement with the utility, and then they can do the subscriber management and the billing and those aspects of it. So within the bounds of those two models, we are having those conversations with utilities, and we'll have more details on which direction each one wants to go and which utilities are interested as those conversations proceed. But for those on the call who are interested in this, definitely stay on our newsletter and check for those updates that are coming. And if you have relationships with utilities that might be interested in working in this area, definitely send them our way, because if they opt for the subaward option, they will need to have some conversations with us, map out what that scope of work would look like, and get that agreement in place. Next up, something uniting all of our on-site programs that make Solar for All super unique is the Enabling Upgrades program. So the Enabling Upgrades program is like it sounds. It is an upgrades program that enables solar. So if a homeowner needs a roof replacement, electrical upgrades, tree trimming, or rafter reinforcement, to be able to participate in Solar for All, either through the no-cost solar plan or the residential solar savings plan, that is not a barrier. It is no longer a reason to be deferred. We have grant funds to be able to do that work so that any household can participate regardless of the condition of their home. So if you're interested in joining that as a contractor, we actually have an RFQ open for that now through our outside program administrator, 2KB. So if you are interested in getting involved in that or know a really good managing general contractor who would be interested in this kind of work, you have the email address there on the screen, info@2kbco.com, to get a copy of that. We would love to have as many awesome contractors as possible.
And then we also are not just looking to serve the residents, but we are also looking to stimulate the economy here in Georgia. We do have a couple RFPs where we will be looking to align. So our Solar Education and Outreach Partners RFP will be coming out Q3, Q4, right? We're shooting for September. This will allow for individuals who are not a nonprofit, but also include nonprofits, community organizations, or individuals who would like to partner with us in community outreach and education. You guys will be able to participate there. If you guys have any questions for that, I'll be around after to answer that, or you can reach out to me. We'll also have our commercial EPC RFP, which is going to be in regards to installation of our commercial projects, which will be opening up very soon here. We'll also have our community outreach and education sub-award. This one is going to be specific to nonprofits to apply to be able to come and assist us with the community engagement work. I believe that we will have around about 5 to 10 sub-awards for that one. And then we also, in early 2026, will be putting out an RFP for a organization to come put a workforce development program, with the idea that the individuals who go through the workforce development program will be able to go through a job portal to start to install on some of these projects. So making sure that individuals are reaching the end of the workforce development portal and actually getting placed into jobs. Next slide. So what's next? The first most important thing to note, to take away from this, is that the no-cost solar applications open up on Monday, right? So we're right around the corner from those opening up. But to stay engaged with the RFPs, to stay engaged when we release the residential side as well as the commercial sides of the program, what you can do is you can scan this QR code, and then you will be able to subscribe directly to the interest that you have. That way you're making sure that you're directly in contact with us and receiving information on a first-hand basis. We are, and I strongly encourage this one as part of the community engagement team, I'm strongly encouraging you guys to partner with us. You can reach out to any of the community engagement team members that represent your territory. We will be happy to come out to any events. We're happy to come and explain this in your to your network, right? So you can reach out. We also are accepting donations as well for this program, because this program is set up to continue well after the EPA money is dispersed. That is one of the initiatives for the program. So it's going to take more than just this first initial of money that we're receiving. It's going to take all of us working together to make sure that this program lives on well beyond 2030. And most importantly, tell a friend. Not everyone, right, will be able to utilize the program, but everyone knows someone who can utilize the program. So us taking care of each other in the community by spreading awareness of this program, so we can make sure that the targeted demographics are hit, and that everyone in Georgia is able to take advantage of this program. I think now we'll leave it open for any questions.
Yeah, we've had a few questions in the chat, so I'll go ahead and read those out loud so we can cover off those first. The first one is, what is the income requirement for the residential solar savings plan?
I can take a pass at that one. So Solar for All has two qualification pathways. The first is income, which is the greater of 80% AMI or 200% of the federal poverty level. In most cases, that AMI number is going to be higher, but there's a handful of some of our more rural counties here in Georgia where 200% of the federal poverty level may be higher. The other pathway for the residential solar savings plan is by census tract, as I believe Tim had mentioned. That's using the climate and economic justice screening tool. And basically, it's looking at a broader definition of disadvantage than just income, things like environmental hazards, educational attainment. We have linked on our website where you can check your address and see if you qualify by tract. Or, of course, one of our friendly community engagement team members can also help with that.
Great. And along the same lines, for the residential program, if ineligible because your income is too high, but you live in an eligible census tract, how is that eligibility determined?
I could take a pass at that one. So as long as mentioned, and I just dropped the link in the chat as well. On the website, you'll be able to go to the HUD. You can go to HUD to check your AMI, or I can't remember the other name of the website, but the links are there for you to type in your address, and it will bring up a map. If you're in the blue, then you're considered to be in an eligible area. And if you're in an eligible area, regardless of income levels, if you live in a disadvantaged census tract, you will be eligible.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Can a prepaid lease owner who gets solar but does not get a battery still enter into a battery-only lease under this residential solar savings plan and therefore have two leases?
I'll take that one. So Solar for All unfortunately does not allow standalone battery projects. So the way that we're handling batteries, and just to give you like kind of a lens into our thinking, this program is meant to serve as many households as possible. And a battery at this time essentially doubles the cost of the system, but doesn't double the savings. So it wasn't feasible to do that for every no-cost solar plan without reducing the overall number that we did. And we felt like it was better to serve more households. So we are prioritizing households that have medical needs for electricity, like whether it's a device or a need for ongoing refrigeration or cooling or something like that. So that's the priority in the no-cost solar plan. And then in the residential solar savings plan, it is going to be first come, first serve with what we have budgeted for that. But there's some promising policy developments going on in the state, and also some developments with EPA that we think will make it where we can provide batteries to basically anyone who needs them over time.
Awesome. Another residential question regarding no-cost solar. Do you look at the 2024 taxes? What happens if the homeowner has retired and now has a much lower income but no tax return? Is it also case by case?
So I actually talked to our origination team about this specifically today. So in lieu of tax returns, they will take award letters from government programs or Social Security letters in other forms. Outside of that realm, if none of those fit or you don't fall into one of those categories, then our origination team will provide you with a list of acceptable documents or income verifiers on a case-by-case basis.
Perfect. Thanks, Tim. How many households or roofs could be covered? Did this start due to Solar for All, or did it exist before?
So the goal is 16,000 homes in Georgia. And it's a very aggressive goal, but it is a very hopeful goal with the different programs that we have going on. Now, the second part of the question, can you repeat that for me?
Yes. Did this start due to Solar for All, or did it exist before?
So solar, it's in conjunction with Solar for All. So the EPA awarded the funds. So there are different Solar for All programs, but specifically for Georgia.
And just adding on to that, Georgia Bright did exist before Solar for All. We had a concept. We were in a pilot program, and that was proof of concept, which attributed to us receiving the EPA Solar for All money.
Thank you. And just a clarifying question here. Kaveh meant if you get the solar with a no-cost solar plan lease, can they still get a battery under the other lease plan?
They cannot. So if you go through the no-cost solar plan, the determination is made whether you qualify for a battery or not based on that medical need. And as I had mentioned, we can't do a battery-only lease, unfortunately.
Thank you. What if the homeowner has an existing system and is looking to add more? Same question for battery. Can they only add battery if they already have solar?
So we cannot do the battery only lease. If someone does add additional solar, that should be allowed, but we would need to clarify with the EPA.
Great. Do you have more information about guidelines for developers interested in projects that would qualify for the nonprofit commercial program?
Mr. Gervais, that would be you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to unmute it here. So the commercial program hasn't released all of its RFP yet. We're kind of working on getting contractors and developers lined up through that. Once the RFP goes live, we'll have a lot more information on it, and we'll probably host some sort of a separate webinar on that and for the community-led and development program that will come later. So we're a little bit, that's the next phase, and we'll release some more information to everybody as it comes.
And just a reminder that the target launch date for that program is January of 2026, but that RFP will be coming out before you know it. So essentially what we'll do is pre-qualify a group of EPCs and developers who can then be chosen for projects that come directly into Good Funds queue, or can also bring existing projects that they've been nurturing. And the only major requirement there that we want to re-emphasize is that savings sharing requirement, just because Solar for All, I like to say, is laser focused on eligible households. So it's definitely interested in investing in communities and those community institutions, but the households is the priority for the first portion of the program for sure.
Awesome. Staying on the community benefit solar tract, what's the expected timing of this program and the utility-led community solar RFPs?
So again, that's kind of Q1. We've been kind of discussing about having a separate webinar about those because it is a mildly different process than just classic residential or commercial. Kind of reading farther into that question of developers required to work with EPCs procured through the commercial EPC RFP. We might have a separate RFP for contractors tied to there, but you will need to work with contractors procured through a classic RFP structure.
Great. And speaking of RFPs, we had a question on clarifying what an RFP is. It's a request for proposal. So we'll put this out and with the opportunity for folks to submit information. Roji asked, will there be another call to cover the marketing campaigns? If not, will you please let us know where we can get the marketing material? Yes, now that we're live on Monday, we have a whole toolkit that we'll be sharing with the live links for how to enter the drawing for the no-cost solar, as well as a bunch of other great stuff. So definitely make sure that you're reading emails and taking a look at the updates that we're sending, because we'll have a lot of good stuff in there. And yes, Jackie, we can post the link where the contractors' proposals can be submitted again. If anyone has any additional questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask it live. We have about 20 minutes left, so.
Hey, everybody, this is Stephanie. I was wondering if you had a number of how many developers would be allowed into the program for the commercial nonprofit side.
I don't think there's a number. Alicia, you can add more detail, but there's not a specific number. It's based off qualifications and making sure they fit within the program. But the more, the merrier. That means more jobs can get built at a faster pace and be a little bit more well done. How about that? So no limit.
All right, one more question in the chat. If you were approved for the no-cost solar option, when would a general date when installation would begin? Or how long would the process be once the application is submitted?
I could probably take a stab at this one. Great question. We're probably tracking for installations to begin in mid-October, towards the end of October.
This is Lawrence Miller in Atlanta. Question I have has to do with the eligibility when there's a medical. What kind of application requirements, or what are the application requirements? Because if I do this, I definitely need to have batteries because I'm on a CPAP and use an oxygen concentrator. What kind of paperwork is going to be required in order to be eligible for batteries? And will the battery be sufficient to power the whole house for X period of time? Or is it just to be connected to the circuits that the medical equipment is attached to?
I'd like to answer that for you, Mr. Miller. As far as the battery is concerned, if you're speaking to the raffle and with the low cost on the leasing part of it, as far as the raffle is concerned, and there is a medical benefit that would make someone with a, give them greater priority. Most likely we will be using, honor system and also, medical documentation, but it won't be as strenuous as say from Social Security if you're trying to qualify for disability. You follow? And as far as the question that you're raising with the CPAC, the battery pack will last a very long time. It will allow the entire house to operate off of it. If you go on our website for georgiabright.org, you can see a story of a family out of Savannah, gentleman in the similar situation as you, impacted by Hurricane Helene. They had no power. Not only was this family, once they got the battery along with the solar array, not only was the family able to use the CPAC for his medical condition, they were also able to assist and provide shelter for their neighbors and be a resilience hub. So it is not just to power just the medical equipment, it is for the entire home.
I'll jump in here as well and add some color to the process behind that. Looking at the medical needs and getting approved to be kind of reviewed for batteries in general gets you through the first stage when you just kind of are applying and putting your information in. Once you're approved for batteries, when you choose an EPC, they will arrive at your home and be talking to you about solar as well as batteries. They'll review the medical equipment that you are referring to, your CPAP. You don't really have to submit any documentation, but they will just kind of want to look at the technology and see how much power it pulls so they can understand how it works, what circuits in your house need to be tied to that battery to prioritize it and your medical needs as the highest use for the battery. So no matter what, as it's being used and the energy in your battery is being used, it's focused around that specific tool.
Thank you.
We have a question on general timelines from start to finish for a residential installation, if someone wants to take that.
Yeah, we're tracking for and hoping to get the majority of them done in under 130 days. A lot of the EPCs in their RFP responses did state that they're a lot quicker than that, but worst case scenario, about 130 days.
Perfect. And just the Georgia Power piece, what is that interaction, and do they have to inspect at the end before it goes live?
Yeah, so Georgia Power, the EPC is going to be responsible for the interconnection process, application. The homeowner is also going to have to give the green light to Georgia Power, letting the EPC act on their behalf. At times, there is a witness test where Georgia Power will also attend, and so will the EPC, to give permission to operate for the system to go live.
Excellent. And just to clarify, faith-based institutions can also apply?
100%. We've had many houses of worship apply through our pilot program, and we feel great about in the future. We've already had a lot of houses of worships reaching out to us in regards to this, building resiliency hubs. They understand that it's not just about getting solar, right? It's about what you can do with the solar. So, a lot of the faith houses of worship are able to get this and then establish additional programs to serve their community and ways that they weren't previously, as well as more traditional ways that may have gone out of play due to financial reasons.
Great. We have a question first from Seth. For the no-cost solar program, will applicants be asked to select an EPC during the application submission process or after they've received an award notification?
I can take that one. So it'll be early in the application process. It won't be on the original intake form. We do have, we use Plaid IDV to make sure that you're not a bot. So we don't waste a lot of people's time on fraudulent applications because unfortunately that happens. But after that Plaid IDV step, the homeowner will be asked to select an EPC, and they will be directed to our website where the EPCs will have an opportunity to basically introduce themselves to homeowners and explain, why they're a good choice to work with.
All right, great questions. Anything else from the group or anything that our team wants to cover off on?
The only call out that I have is for anyone that's in the southeastern coastal region who I see some familiar names and faces, so that's exciting. But the folks that I don't know, I'm gonna leave my email in the chat. Please, let's connect because the more times that we're partnering and out in the community, the more penetration that we can get. So open to anything in your area. Everyone's all over the place. So any community events or anything like that going on, definitely let me know.
And I'll just add on to that. I'll drop my email on there as well. All of the community engagement team, we all have office hours. We all have direct book links. We went over a lot of information today, and we did it, fairly quickly, due to the time crunch. So we definitely encourage you guys, if you guys do have any questions, if there was any parts of it that still was not clear for you, reach out to the territory representative and book some time with us. We have no problems taking time to walk you guys through, see if you guys qualify. We'll also have additional virtual calls coming, which, if you guys subscribe to the newsletter, they'll be included in the newsletter for the cadence of that, as well as our upcoming events on August 23rd. I want to just, in Savannah specifically, Jasmine will be hosting an in-person event for our launch of the program. I encourage all of you guys, if you're in the area, to reach out to her, attend that event. It'll be a great time. You guys will be able to get some great information.
Yes, and we'll be following up to everybody that registered and attended to this session with all of this good stuff, a lot of resources, so be on the lookout for that as well.
And yes, everyone, I just wanted to ask everyone to look in the chats. Earlier, we mentioned if you didn't qualify with the AMI, and if you were in a disadvantaged census tract, you will see the link from the Justice Program. You can actually click on that link. I encourage you to save it, put in the address. Once you put in the address, if it's shaded in blue in the background, then they will be eligible for the no-cost solar and for our other programs as far as low-cost leasing with the Georgia Bright Solar for All program.
One last call out. I saw in the chat, someone asked if this could be shared. Yes, we will definitely send out these slides, and we have other, like the partner toolkit that Julia was mentioning. So if you would like any of that, we just put our overall SFA at Capital Good Fund email in the chat, and would love to share resources with you so we can get this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything, if you reach out to that SFA at Capital Good Fund, it goes to the entire team, and then the designated person will respond to you guys and get back with you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you all for joining. Have a great one.
Yes, have a good evening. Thank you again, and be on the lookout for more.
Thank you all, everybody. That was great.